Man, that's what it's going to be like in Conference USA. Just anticipate all those games being a grind. Doesn't matter how big your lead is. Doesn't matter how many games you've won out of how many games or how many games you haven't won. It's just going to be a fight. This league is really good. It's not, no disrespect to some of the other conferences we've played in, because there's some really good players and coaches in those leagues too, but this league is a beast. Really proud of our group, the way we navigated that one, because not too often can you give up 25 offensive rebounds and still win a game. They had 27 more attempts than us, but we just found a way. And again, I'm very into the process, happy we won, but also know we got a lot of room for improvement. Questions?
Took a lot of punches there from Kennesaw in the second half. They cut it to one. It seemed like they couldn't get over the hump. What do you think was key from your team to kind of hold on to the lead and then to push it back out?
John, fair question. I think it was a super physical game. So, again, we knew it was going to be like that, and they missed a couple of easy ones that we were fortunate on, and then once we bumped it back up to a two-possession game, I felt like we had a little wiggle room, but I have confidence in our group. Like, we typically won't beat ourselves, but Kennesaw is good enough to beat you. They have a really good team and special player in Cottle. So, and Pet does a great job with his group. They play hard for 40. And again, when you're at this level, that's your lot. You're gonna have to win some really tough games.
You mentioned the offensive rebound a little bit there. Just being able to overcome that, is that something that you guys are just gonna have to be able to do at this point in the season? Is that kind of how Kennesaw State plays?
No, Bryce. Oh, they're one of the leading rebounding teams and offensive rebounding teams in the country. But no, that's not how we want to roll. Like, It's not acceptable. We got to do better. Period. Like, but there's always going to be something in a game. Like, if we wouldn't have been on that side of the scoreboard, like there would have been something that you'd have to answer to or explain. So again, we don't ever accept in victory what we wouldn't in defeat. But they sent 4 or 5 to the glass, and typically we don't mind that when that happens, because we can get out, especially with this group, and play with numbers. We couldn't come up with the majority of them. That being said, though, we were pretty efficient in the first half, and once we saw it go in after, again, we were getting some good looks against that zone. They just weren't falling. But that helped their cause, certainly.
You mentioned the other day talking about wanting to play better on the defensive end of the floor, held them to 33% from the field shooting. How do you feel like your guys did there on that side too?
Some aspects, John, we were really good. Some not so much. And, again, this is a process. We're in the first week of January, and this group we're going to get better. I don't know what it'll mean on the scoreboard, but we're going to get better. And for all the size limitations, whatever quote unquote size limitations, we were even with them in points in the paint. So, and I think we won the points in the paint battle against Dayton. I can't remember FIU, but it's not like we weren't getting quality shots either. So, it's for us. I think there's some great film for us to learn from, and a quick turn against Jack State, who's won a few in a row, and you guys know how good Coach Harper is. So that'll be another stiff challenge.
You talked about Zach's night. I mean, you mentioned physicality. I feel like he was pushing, banging down there with everybody, and he came away with 20 points, and just another great effort from him. Kind of overall, what did you see?
Yeah, Zach was super. But that's par for the course for him, right? We're used to watching him have a really good game, and the numbers will validate it on most nights, 9 times out of 10. But he means so much more to our team than just the numbers. The way he organizes our offense, his recovery and absorption of some of the defensive errors that we make. So he's a really special player. Like he doesn't get enough credit for how good he is.
Your ability to overcome that weird kind of start a little bit, like a 5-minute delay, technical free throw, all that kind of stuff. The team shot right out of the gates. Was that speak to your veteran ability? Was it just one little blip on the radar? Did you see anything specific?
We haven't played at home in a while, so I think our guys were just anxious to get back in the Liberty Arena. And even though the students were gone, we felt that crowd tonight. Flames Nation was really good. I hope they'll come out. The last Sunday game we had was senior night last year, and we lost to these guys. and there wasn't very many people here. So maybe you can write a good story about us or two and encourage fans to come out because we'll need them all.
You mentioned Jack State. I think they've won 3 in a row now, one again today on the road. Big challenge, as it will be every night in the conference USA. What would be key for you guys to have a good performance on a quick turnaround?
Yeah, John, I haven't watched them. Like I've peeked at them, tried to take a peek at all 11 of the other teams in the league. I couldn't tell you much. I'll start that tonight as soon as I get home. But I know Coach Harper, and every year he's got a team. I don't care what their record is. Every year he's got a team that will execute a game plan that'll be really hard to play against. And but again, that's going to be the norm in Conference USA.
1-for-1 on challenges, right, this year? Was that your first one? So what are your thoughts on that, just in general, the ability to have that challenge under your
I don't know how many we had, Bill. We've had 3 or 4.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we've had 3 or 4. I think we've only lost 1. Again, I thought it went off of them, but I wanted to make sure we were organized with 4.9 and a 2-possession game. I wanted to make sure we didn't do anything that was gonna mess things up in the last 5 seconds. So I was gonna take the timeout. It would have been our last one, but we had a plan to make sure they had to go use a lot of dribbles.